There are growing calls for a national population policy as the country faces the prospect of 15 million more citizens by the middle of the century. Most are likely to squeeze into our 4 biggest cities, which are already straining under rapid population growth. Over 10 years, Melbourne's added almost 1 million people, Sydney 800,000. Perth and Brisbane have grown by nearly 500,000 each. Tonight's Four Corners investigates what a big Australia will mean and the difficult choices that will have to be made. Ben Knight reports.
If it feels like our big cities are bursting at the seams, this is why.
What we're looking at now is population growth of a dynamic force.
Commutes are getting longer. Sydney's is the worst, followed by Melbourne, Brisbane and Perth. In 2016, the Grattan Institute estimated Victoria will need up to 220 schools in the next decade to keep up with demand. Queensland and New South Wales aren't far behind. Projections say that by mid-century, Melbourne and Sydney will be cities of around 8 million people. Perth and Brisbane are also headed for massive growth.
It's a lovely nostalgic view to think that we can all have the quarter-acre block and sort of live a blissful 1950s existence.
But I think that choice brings with it, travelling by cars and ultimately sitting in more congestion in the future.
Immigration took off with the mining boom, and it's been driving our population growth ever since, under both Labor and coalition governments. Since 2005, Australia has added around 2.7 million new citizens through immigration alone.
Yes, I suppose you can make a credible argument for winding back the immigration intake, but that's a very defeatist view of Australia's capabilities.
Population should not be blamed for policy failures. We see these things not because of population, but because of failures to support the population.
Yet we don't have a national population policy that sets out where we're headed and what choices and trade-offs we need to make to maintain our quality of life.
We've done an abysmal job. There has been really no serious integrated debate around all the key factors that population growth brings to our economy.
Australia's way of life is headed for a massive change. The question is, who's managing it? Ben Knight, ABC News.